Hello YouTube, my name is Cryonic Flame and welcome back to the Joy of Building series. In today's episode, we will be building a nice and cozy campfire. So the main blocks that I will be using for this build would be red wool, spruce fences, spruce logs, dirt paths that you can just have a shovel if you want. It doesn't really matter. A campfire and green wool. The green wool and the red wool will be used for the actual tents, and the campfire obviously for the campfire, but we may add in a few extra texturing blocks just along the way. Before we jump into this build, I would just like to remind you guys that you can always build alongside me in your own worlds, and you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing, but you can still build with me as well. But anyway, let's get right into the build. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is create the first sort of tent here, and I'm envisioning this right now. I've got my sort of perfect spot right here. I'm going to put tent, campfire in the center here with the paths all around it. So what I'm gonna start with is, I think right here, shove this dog out of the way a tiny bit, and I'm just going to create two sort of sides to our tent here, and these sides will be 5 blocks long, and let's do 5 blocks apart, and actually I want to do 6 blocks long like this. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the red wool, go up 1 and over 1, and then you go up 2 like that, like just keeping the same thing like this, and then you can just bring this along the entire sort of tent here, and this will happen on both sides. So we can do this over here as well. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do pretty much the exact same thing, bringing it up 2 more, and then 1 more for the top there, making sure that you don't have connecting blocks like this, because then it doesn't create the tent feel, and instead just looks like a sort of arch that you're trying to make or something. So just make sure that it's just like the corners are touching, and we'll do support stuff later. So I'm just gonna bring this all the way across here, like so. And we have ourselves a pretty nice shape for our tent. And now I'm also thinking that I want to build a second tent right in this space, but to do that I first want to clear up this small area right here, but we will be adding a few ferns and other stuff. Otherwise, this place won't look the best. But now let's build our second tent, which I think this one will be a little bit smaller. I think we go 5 blocks, and then 5 blocks apart. No, let's do 3 blocks apart, like this. So this one's a smaller tent. And then we just do the same technique, but only once up like this, and then up like that. So it's just a smaller version of this guy, but it still maintains the basic shape. Get out of the way, wolf. Come on. Anyway, let's just fill this in. Yeah. And I can always get rid of this tree here, but I think it's fine the way we have it, as long as we just get rid of the ones that are touching the camp, like the actual tent. And then what I'm gonna do is, before I start on the actual campfire, I'm gonna get these sort of tents sorted. So to add some texture to these sides, I'm gonna use carpets and just kind of little spam stuff everywhere, so it looks like how like cloth or felt or whatever tents are made out of is kind of there, because it's all kind of like wrinkly and not perfect in every single place, so it just gives a little bit of realism into it. I don't like So that one is there. I think we do. Yeah, one right there. Then I'm gonna put one right. That one's. It doesn't look like there's one there though. Does it? Oh, it just automatically does that. That's why. Never mind. And maybe that, and like that, and that should give us a sort of not perfect feel to it. And I also need to do this on this side, sort of like that, and then just do 1, 2, 1. Yeah, I'll leave that one out. Then I'll do 1, 2, edge, 1, 2, 4 there. That's not 4, that's 3. And like that, and we should have some random bits of realism in here. And if you are following along, just know that it doesn't matter where you place this. It's just a sort of random spam that you do. It's not really an actual placement. So if you want to follow exactly, you can, but I would just not. So the second thing, or the next thing I'm going to do is use fences to create sort of supports along the side here, running up to the top, kind of like that. And I actually want to do this on the back here, not the front. Because on the front, what I'm going to do is instead of these guys on the side here, I'm going to create this sort of post thing like this to create a sort of divider in the build. But this part just looks for the tent sort of emphasis. I don't know which one I should do. I think I should just go with this one because it looks kind of cool. But this one also is what I do sometimes, kind of like this. But I like the other way that I did first. So I'm going to do it like this. Both the tents are going to look like this. And for this one, instead of doing that, since you can't really do it, I'm only going to do it for the back here. And with the back here, it's going to have to be literally just blocking off the entrance to this one. So that's why I don't want to do it for this front part here. But it's just a small little tent. You wouldn't really use it, so it suits its purpose. So the next thing I'm going to do is the actual floors of the tents. So you can't really, there isn't really a block other than just using the wool again to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use spruce planks and slabs. And I'm just going to basically create a sort of little interior here, making sure the actual floor of the build is the slabs. And the reason for this is so you can go one step down further and have more space than you would in if you just left it plain, which is what some tents I think have, kind of like that. So when you're walking on it, you go like this, and you have like some space to move, and then you can make certain spots of it one above, so you can place like crafting tables and furnaces there if you want. This isn't really a survival sort of base thing, this is more like just decoration, but you could make it into a survival base if you wanted to. So what I'm doing here is I'm just lining the floor of this tent with the spruce. And it looks pretty cool, just like that. And then what you can do is you can put a bed right here and some chests. I'm gonna do one right there, kind of like that. And then you can put crafting tables and furnaces. Not in this one, but you can place furnace or just both crafting tables in this one. And then place your furnaces here. And I guess, why not bookshelves over on the side here. And like that. and you have yourselves a nice tent interior. And you could even make this into a survival base, even though it wouldn't be very practical because creepers would blow everything to bits. Use some ender chests just for like personal storage there. But now let's get to the actual campfire part. I'm still gonna need those spruce fences. Where are they? Spruce fences, campfire, and I would suggest a cauldron if you want to, and a shovel. Doesn't matter what type of shovel, but if you're doing this in survival, a wooden shovel probably wouldn't get you far enough, so I'm just gonna use the wooden shovel now though. And I'm just gonna build this area out sort of right here, just pathing all of it basically, except in the center I will make some alterations. So what I'm gonna do in the center here, which will be this this block, right? No, this one. This block right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put cobblestone. Oh, not cobblestone, and I think no, that just cobblestone should be fine. And then we surround this area with it like this, and we put a campfire, and then go up one, cauldron, water, and we put water there, kind of like that, and it kind of looks like a campfire sort of thing. And if you want to sell this even more, you can go like this, and then put chains, and go like that, sort of. And it creates a cool little cauldron boiling over a campfire. And for seating, we can go to those spruce logs that I had you get, and we can just go bop 1, 2, 3 like that. Move past that block again, and whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but 1, 2, 3, kind of like that. And you have yourself a pretty nice little campfire here. But I also want to add some surrounding things, so this will be the last thing that I'm going to do. And I'm just going to path a tiny bit here, just kind of spread it out here, so it looks like the path sort of dissipates into this little thing here. So then I can add like a dock, which I'm not going to, but you could add a dock if you wanted to, just going off of this thing right here. I just got unlucky with the ice there, so that's why I'm not gonna build a dock here. But what I want to do is I want to create a small little pond somewhere. So maybe back right here, I'm just gonna create this small little area, kind of like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some ferns and large ferns, and I'm just gonna go bop, 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 and cornflower, because they grow in places like these, I guess. Like that, and then you have a nice little pond back there as well. And I think that should be it. So we have our nice campfires here, and just a good little brewing thing here. Actually, I'm going to change one of these to that, just to add some difference. But yeah, we should be good. That will be all for today's episode. If you want to learn more on building, make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.